with Tim Gilbert and Julie Snook. This is Racing Dreams.
Oh, you have to call a day like today postcard picture perfect, Julie Snook.
Good morning, Timmy, and good morning to you at home. We are here at Rosehill Gardens for a sensational day of raining. It's not raining, of racing. Look at this behind us.
Fair excuse for saying that. Most days we have.
Blame the baby brain. But look at this track behind us. Conditions are absolutely incredible out here. They're just making the finishing touches trackside this morning. The sun is shining. We couldn't have asked for a better weekend for this.
The only individual looking better than the day itself, of course, sartorially elegant, as he always is. Our great mate, of course, senior racing rider for News Corp, Ray Thomas. How are you, mate?
Timmy, good morning, Jules. And when was the last time we said track good for on a Saturday morning in Sydney?
I don't remember.
It's incredible. And as you said, Jules, what a picture-perfect day, hardly a cloud in the sky. The track looks in magnificent order. Crowd of 20,000 plus, bring it on.
It just feels like the momentum is rolling on here because we saw that Everest a couple of weeks ago. We saw the crowds, we saw the atmosphere, and it continues again here today.
It does, and I was out here during the week for a promotional shoot with Mark Geyer and Michael Hawkes, and Mark Geyer challenged the Rosehill crowd today to come up with their own song for the Everest.
Yes.
Of course, the Everest, for the Golden Eagle, sorry, the Everest is all about Sweet Caroline, and I think Mark Geyer put a couple of Queen songs potentially in for Bohemian Rhapsody and We Are the Champions possibly, but that's what's going to happen today. It's going to be another tremendous day. The atmosphere is going to be fantastic, and we've got a fantastic Golden Eagle as well. What a race.
We are the champions. I'd actually, if I can get involved, being Gilbert
Please.
born and bred, what about a bit of K-San?
Oh,
Love it, yeah.
It's a carry,
or Jimmy Barnes, working class man.
Yeah, or something like that. Let's go
Western
for something
suburbs.
Australia. I'd be interested to see what they come up with
Yeah.
today. All right, now we've got a field of 20 Golden Eagle.
Yeah.
Frankie Dettori.
Yeah, isn't it fantastic? And the last time we had a field of 20 around the Rosehill 1500 was the 2019 Coolmore Dixie Blossoms one. It doesn't happen very often, but wow, what a field. And you can go right down the list and make a case for almost every runner. Of course, Frankie Dettori rides the Chris Waller train Wall, and it's just great to have Frankie Dettori and Jamie Spencer here, along with Light Infantry and Wall. They bring that international focus to the Golden Eagle, and make no bones about it, guys. The world will be watching this race this afternoon.
well, that's the thing. This is the first time, remarkably, that Frankie Dettori has been here in Sydney and ridden here in Sydney. He's staying today. He'll be riding on Tuesday as well. What does that tell you, the fact that this race is now enticing the likes of Frankie Dettori to get him on a plane, to get him and Jamie Spencer down here?
I think Frankie said it yesterday at the press conference here at Rosehill when he said when you're potentially racing and winning up to $10 million in prize money, it's impossible to ignore. The European flat season is effectively over. There's the US Breeders' Cup where some of the best European horses go to next week, but by and large, their flat season is over. So it suddenly becomes a real inducement or lure to head to Sydney to potentially race and ride and possibly win the Golden Eagle. And Wall's in this contest, make no bones about it. Just I think a couple of weeks ago, Timmy, was $101 for the race. He's into about $17 now and firming.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're seeing some images here now, of course, the mighty Frankie Dettori, and it is getting international interest. I love the charity angle as well, and we're going to talk to Paul Francis a little later in the program from the Humpty Dumpty Foundation, because it really does help people along the way, the Golden Eagle. But when people see you on camera, Ray, they get the pens and pencils ready and their little bits of paper, and they say, what does Ray like in Sydney today? Tell me.
We're overdue for a couple of winners, guys. Look, I think the first of the big ones is the Nature Strip Stakes, and it does look the race for Lost and Running. Marzu's the danger, I think, and Private Eye. They're the horses that ran the placings in the Everest. Of course, Lost and Running didn't go around that day because of that race morning scratching. Such shocking luck for Connections, but I think he's the horse to beat in the Nature Strip Stakes. In the Golden Eagle, look, I'm going with a bit of value here because it's such an open race. I think Light Infantry short enough at about 320, 340 at the moment. A horse like Gypsy Goddess, she's an Oaks winner. You know she'll run a strong 1,500 metres. She's got blinkers on first up. She'll love this frenetic tempo, which is how this race will be run today. And I think she'll come home with a wet sail, so to speak. And at about $17, she's a good each-way bet.
And of course, you were at the barrier draw earlier in the week. We know there is a 20-horse field today. We know they are chasing $10 million, so the tempo will be hot. But how did you find the reaction to some of the draws on Tuesday night? Because I know there are a few disappointed parties who are a little further out than they wanted to be.
One of the most extraordinary stories was by Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, Hinge was going to Melbourne. By 4 o'clock, there was a potential redraw for the Empire Rose Stakes, which was a race she was going to because she drew effectively the car park here at Rosehill, barrier 16. But then when the redraw for the Empire Rose came up, she drew 16 in Flemington. So she's staying here. They're going to roll the dice. Fangirls out there as well. Look, barrier draws, you can't do anything about them. They are what they are. And we've got some world-class jockeys who will obviously have to do what they can to give their horses the best chance. And like a horse like Valana, who was so good in the Silver Eagle, wasn't he, first up from Godolphin, who are winning everything at the moment. I think James Cummings' quote was, "We've drawn Parramatta Speedway." They're out in barrier 20.
A bit like Prince Nakoni on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know.
He's drawn Pagewood.
Yeah.
I know.
The tour of Western Sydney continues.
Look, I really like Surefire in the second in Melbourne. A great day of racing, of course, Derby Day as well.
It is, and a tremendous day. The weather's not the best, but I'll get huge crowds because obviously the last 2 years with COVID, you couldn't go to Flemington, so it'd be a massive 4 days down there. Obviously the Cup on Tuesday and then the rest of the week. So, but pretty happy to be here with the sun shining at last in Sydney, guys.
Who do you like in Melbourne? Do you like Surefire?
I think Surefire would be hard to beat. Realm of Flowers is scratched. Now a couple of those horses are out and it's racing well, Surefire. It'll be pretty hard to beat in that race. I think in the Coolmore Stud Stakes is such a fantastic contest, and look, I think In Secret can win. The Derby, maybe Sharp and Smart or Berkeley Square, and in the Empire Rose, I think Nimalee will be hard to beat, but great race day at Flemington as well.
Yep.
And of course, once it all wraps up here this afternoon, we head to Randwick on Tuesday because there's a big dance to be had.
And this has created a bit of a buzz, hasn't it? And as you mentioned earlier, Jules, Frankie Dettori staying to ride in the big dance, and guess what colours he's wearing? Lloyd Williams, who he's worn in some Melbourne Cups, and he's wearing that on the favourite, Hosier. And so look, I think it's just another indication that there's so many alternatives for these jockeys, world-class jockeys like Frankie Dettori. They can come via Sydney on their way to the US Breeders' Cup. So he's a massive draw card both today and Tuesday on Cup Day.
Great racing man, Lloyd Williams, and Nick. I had a good chat with Nick yesterday. So, look, it's a really wonderful time of the year. I mean, yours and my focus on Tuesday is on Prince Nakoni. Race 2 in the Highway, drawn gate 20. What do you think, Raymond?
We don't need a bit of luck, I think, Timmy. Well, we own small shares and only a hair on the tail.
I know, it's not going to pay the bills.
I know,
but it's good fun.
Well, we'll give him a big cheer. Just be great to have a runner on Cup Day at Randwick, won't it? So.
Absolutely.
See, ever the optimist is our Ray.
Absolutely. I'll give him a chance. He's a good horse. You know, that Opal Ridge form.
A dry track too.
Yeah.
Hopefully a dry track.
All right, Ray, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful day. Enjoy what is going to be a sensational day.
Can't help not to, guys. Great race day and counting down the hours now.
Yeah, have a pie or two for me in the press room.
I don't know about that.
Don't worry, I have that covered for you.
I usually cover myself. Too many all over the place.
Something we know about this Everest Carnival is there are events on all throughout the week. This week was absolutely no different. So as we count down officially to the $10 million Golden Eagle, let's take a look at the week that was. It takes something pretty special to have one of the world's finest jockeys jumping on a plane and heading down under.
Hi everyone, Frankie here. I'm so much looking forward to come to Sydney this weekend to ride in the Golden Eagle. So make sure that you tune in. Ciao, ciao.
The $10 million Golden Eagle is where East.
When we're talking $10 million, it's hard not to think about the level of the prize money there and what's at stake for all the connections, for everyone involved. These can be life-changing moments for the owners.
Meets West.
It's a golden time if you live in the West, like I have for 50 years, and not just the fact that Panthers won back-to-back, the fact that we had the Everest, now we've got the Golden Eagle, right now on our doorstep is amazing.
It's great to be here. It's out in the West, it's where our heart and soul. We're trained here as well, and to have a horse or two horses for the fact of being a $10 million race, you know, it's everyone's dream to have those sort of runners.
Australia's second richest horse race has attracted a capacity field, running over 1,500 metres at the iconic Rosehill Gardens. It's not just the glory they're chasing either, with 10% of prize money earned going to each runner's nominated charity.
To support a community charity like Camp Quality with the significant funds that they were supported with last year's winner, I'm thunderstruck. It's really quite humbling, to be honest.
All-round racing's a pretty generous group of people, but the Golden Eagle just takes it one step further. Different runners, different charities, for $1 million, it'll go far and wide.
Our home stables are well represented.
In the Golden Eagle this year, we've got two runners. In the Congo, a Group 1 winner at 3, a great winner of the Group 1 Golden Rose Stakes, also run at Rosehill, and Converge, a Group 1 winner at 2, and a Group 1 winner at 3, both over the mile. So conditions for both horses should really suit, and two excellent live chances for the race.
He's been running really good races. He's been running in extremely high tempo races, and the difference on Saturday is he's got a pretty good gait, so that gives us a little bit of confidence, and hopefully it's the quickest way home.
And we wanted an inside draw. I'm not going to pretend that we're happy being out in 20. The saving grace for me is she's such an incredibly genuine, honest, tough racehorse that, you know, even from that barrier, we know she's going to run her heart out and be in the finish.
But it's the internationals that are looming favourite.
I've travelled a lot of horses out here to Sydney and Melbourne and over the last 5 years, and I would say this horse has probably travelled better than all of them.
But this is a different test, you know. It's going from a straight 1,600 metres to 1,500 around a turn. He's never raced around a turn in his life, so there's a few quandaries, but we're hoping that his class will shine through.
It is attracting attention from all over the world, which is great to see. Great for racing New South Wales and just great for Australia, really.
Well, one of the busiest men in New South Wales the last few months has been the Chief Operating Officer of Racing New South Wales. Graham Hinton, how are you, mate?
Good morning. Thanks for having me, guys.
I tell you what, Graham, Racing New South Wales must be flying high at the moment, because what an incredible carnival it has been so far, and we have been blessed with more incredible weather today.
Oh, what more can you ask for, really? You know, Everest Day, beautiful sunny skies, the barrier draw for the Everest, beautiful sunny night, beautiful clear night, and today, beautiful sunny day out at Rosehill, and what better day to come out and enjoy a day at the races?
Oh, absolutely. And look, this is my home turf. Like you, western suburbs of Sydney, it's where dreams are made, really, racing dreams are made. And I love the Golden Eagle for so many reasons, but particularly because of the charity angle. And I mentioned we're going to talk to one of the charities, but the difference it can make. People talk about the 10 million, which is great, the beautiful trophy, which is wonderful, but the charity angle's fantastic, Graham.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We find this is a race that just grabs that attention, the community interest in it because of the charities. And we'll be in the room here today, and there'll be charities jumping up and down and cheering, because this changes what they do year round, the benefit they can get out of the prize money. And look, it's $525,000 to the charity that finishes first, but we make sure charities all the way down get a share of that. It's $5,000 even for running last, which still means a lot for some of these guys, which we're very, very proud of that.
And that's the thing. This is a 20-horse field this year. It's gone up from 18 at the start of the week, 20 by the end of the week. That's 20 charities here that can benefit in some way. And not just the prize money, but us talking about these charities as well and what they're doing in the community.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It is more than just the prize money. You know, we held an open day here with Camp Quality, and there was about 200 kids came along, and we put on a carnival for them, and music and rides, and it just made a day out for them, and that helped them drive some more donations and awareness for their charities. So what we're seeing as the Golden Eagle gets bigger is they can leverage it more and more, not just on the day.
How good is it having Frankie Dettori here? You can't always organise Broadway, but he's come to town, he's in Sydney.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's been a great sport. He was out here yesterday. I think he only landed yesterday morning and was straight here in front of the cameras for us, getting plenty of attention. And geez, you know, it just puts us on the map internationally as well, having that sort of superstar power.
Don't worry, he knows how to find a camera, old Frankie. So Frankie and Jamie Spencer are here as well. What is that telling you about the spring in Sydney, how much it's changed. Of course, we are coming off the back of an incredibly tough couple of years, but finally the world has opened up again. To now have these two jockeys straight on a plane, straight here and staying for the big dance on Tuesday, what does that tell you about spring here now?
Oh, look, it's just getting bigger and bigger year after year. We saw the trainer of light infantry after when it run in its last race. The first thing he said to the camera is, I think we're going to look at the Golden Eagle in Sydney. You know, it wasn't a case of saying, you know, we'll consider our options or there may be a race somewhere. He knew about the race. He knew the prize money.
Yeah.
He'd already targeted it. And that just shows it's getting cut through right around the world.
Oh, well, Peter Moody's here, isn't he? Peter Moody's here today. We saw last year with the Golden Eagle, a win for Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. with I'm Thunderstruck. And big dance. I've spoken about it. We've been country, went out to Bathurst and, of course, spoke to Saran, one of the board members of Racing New South Wales. Great initiative, and it really is, and along with prize money and other things that are going on in regional and rural areas of New South Wales.
Yeah, and what we've seen is the lead up to the big dance. Horses have gone into these races, better performed, higher quality horses, better jockeys, and we've seen the turnover actually increase all the way through. The crowds are up. You talk to some of the country club CEOs, they're loving it. They're selling more tickets, more sponsorship, more hospitality. It's uplifted each of those days in the lead up to Tuesday, and everyone should be tuning in. 2:20 on Tuesday. It'll be the race to watch before the Melbourne Cup. There'll be plenty of interest around it and a big crowd out at Randwick.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, there's been an incredible lead up to this for those country jockey clubs. It's been so wonderful to see that you've got people turning up to the track again. A lot of them have done it really, really tough, and they're getting out there, they're getting behind their horses, they're getting behind their local clubs, and they're loving it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We hosted the Coffs Harbour Racing Club at, I think it was Epsom Day, and one of the horse that won the Coffs Cup was racing on Epsom Day, and they were cheering it as though it was their own.
Yeah.
So we've got an ad campaign actually running for the next couple of days. You know, if you're in Tamworth, cheer on Bandersnatch, the winner of the Tamworth Cup, to try and build that organic. It's all about New South Wales. It's our race, and it's something to get behind and support.
One of the other things that I know Peter talks about a lot, Russell and the whole team at Racing New South Wales and the hierarchy, Peter McGoran and Jamie at the ATC, it's about getting the demographic in, isn't it? It's about getting younger people. We saw it with the Everest, and that's the future, isn't it, of the industry, to get younger people involved.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if we don't do that, you won't have a sport in 15, 20 years' time. You've always got to plan further ahead. It's not just about what's coming next week or next year. You've got to plan for the future. And I've just got to take my hat off to the ATC as well in terms of execution on those big days. For the Everest, 46,000 people, and they nailed it. You know, we can't do what we do to promote these events if they can't put the stage on for us.
Oh, just looking at that vision again, it was an incredible, incredible day. Speaking of sprints, the Nature Strip Stakes today as well, so we get to see these sprinters back in action. Lost and Running finally gets a chance as well after missing out on the Everest. He comes in as favourite, but that Sprint Series Challenge is up for grabs as well.
Yeah, look, we're giving away $6 million today on top of everything else to the horses that have qualified through that series. So there's a lot to run for. You won't meet a nicer, more genuine person than John O'Shea. So after what happened on Everest Day, we do like, you know, we would like to see him get a result today. But they're all in it with a chance, and someone's going to come away with a pretty big check.
Yeah, absolutely. On a glorious Western Sydney day. Graham, we probably won't get the chance to chat again on the program, but thanks again for your support. We look forward to the autumn, and go Golden Eagle Day.
Thanks, guys, and appreciate all your support during the season.
Isn't it nice to see a chopper arriving and it's not here to dry out the track?
Yeah, that might be might be Frankie Dettori.
Frankie's just arrived.
Or the performers. We've got a great performance afterwards, don't we?
We do. So Rudimental. So stick around at the end of the day and you can see Rudimental as well. And stay with us because we've got much more to come here on Racing Dreams after the break. We are live here at Rosehill Gardens for Golden Eagle Day.
See you soon.
Welcome back. You are watching Racing Dreams. We are live here at the picturesque Rosehill Gardens today.
Beautiful, absolutely
for
beautiful.
The $10 million Golden Eagle.
Absolutely, Julie. And our next guest, I remember when he started this charity. It is over 30 years ago, and how it has blossomed. The Humpty Dumpty Foundation. Paul Francis, how are you?
I'm perfect. I mean, perfect day. Just wonderful here. Wonderful.
Well, first of all, Paul, tell us about the Humpty Dumpty Foundation. You do such incredible, incredible work.
Look, Julie, it actually happened a little bit by accident. I've got to be honest. When I first started fundraising purely for our local hospital, North Shore Paediatrics, I didn't really know much about what was happening within the system other than our local hospital needed help. So we set up a structure where people could buy medical equipment for North Shore Hospital, and the word spread. So today we now supply medical equipment to over 500 children's hospitals and health services across Australia. And we have great supporters, supporters.
From an acorn and oak tree's grown, hasn't it, really? And it's been fantastic to see some of the support, some of the high-profile support with people like Ray Martin and Phil Kearns and many, many others. Tell us about the involvement with the Golden Eagle.
Look, the Golden Eagle's been a blessing. When we first involved 2 years or nearly 3 years ago. And look, I think sometimes it's a little bit undervalued. Racing's was looked at, I think, to a degree of the sport of kings. The Golden Eagle, without doubt, is a sport for the community. It's a race for the community. Over $1 million will go to charities as a result.
Because every horse has a charity.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 20 charities involved today, and a lot of charities. This will make a difference for some of them, I think, about how they keep going. And, you know, we've been blessed that as a result of the first 2 years, we've been able to supply 8 pieces of medical equipment to Children's Hospital in New South Wales, and places that I know when we've delivered it, the nurses have started crying because they've been after this equipment for years. So the Golden Eagle has allowed us to do that.
And that's the thing, 20 charities today, as you said, will benefit from this. And it isn't just the money we're talking about either. It's the fact that we're able to talk to people such as yourself and hear about the good work of these charities in the community and see what impact they're making.
Look, absolutely, Julie. I think today we'll all have lunch together. It's probably the biggest gathering of charities in New South Wales, that we're all in the same room together. So often we see each other in opposition. We're after that charity dollar, but today we're all together. We're all together in the room, and some great relationships will come from it.
Yeah.
And it's just very special. It's a very, very special, and it's a bloody beautiful day.
Oh, absolutely. That's a
well
good
said.
Well, I'm a Westie. It's a good word to use. It's used a lot. Now, look, I feel blessed and fortunate over the years, 30-odd years, to have worked in the media, but part of that has been the fortunate moments where I've hosted many charity functions, and one of the things that we do stress, whether it be through auctions or elsewhere, is the gap between government funding and benevolence is huge.
Yep.
So we need to dig as deep as we possibly can when we get the opportunity to contribute to great causes like yours.
Look, absolutely, Tim. Like, you know, there's such a big gap, and the gap's going to get bigger. You know, the New South Wales health budget, a third of it goes, New South Wales budget, I should say, a third of it goes on health, $30 billion, right? But that's been massacred by COVID. So the money that was going out now is going to be smaller and smaller. We're the largest supplier of children's medical equipment in New South Wales outside of government. But you know, all the charities today, they're here because they're good charities and they're making a difference.
Absolutely.
And you know, today also, it's a pat on the back for them. You know, we're going to sit in the room, we're going to drink nice wines, and we're going to chat to each other, and it's an opportunity which, you know, the brainchild of the Golden Eagle and the charity event aspect of it is a great way to pat them on the back, and a lot of them have made huge sacrifices to do what they do.
And for the Humpty Dumpty Foundation today, you'll be cheering home the Peter Moody trained lightsaber, because that's who's running for you today.
Absolutely. He started, and there's been a lot of money come on. He was at 200 to 1. Latest he's come into 120 to 1. So there's quite a bit there's some action happening, and I'm going to go down and have a chat to lightsaber before the event.
What are you going to say to him?
Win.
We're all with you. Just give it your best. That's what we say to our kids. Just give it your best shot. We know you're trying, and you know, and thank you.
But whatever happens, it's a win-win-win. That's what happens today. Good on you, Paul.
Absolutely. No, and if you just watch the race on TV or get out here, you could, you know, we've had such crap weather. This is just a great day and a great event.
It's absolutely sparkling. Good on you, mate. We'll
Thank
catch
you.
up with you real soon.
Thank you.
One of the things that Paul just mentioned is lovely wine and the food that we'll be eating. There'll be prawns, there'll be oysters, there'll be lovely meat pies, which are one of my favourites. So let's have a look at Rosehill Gardens and the way it prepared for the big day.
We've had a record crowd at Everest Day, 46,221 people, and now we get to Rosehill Gardens, this unbelievably well-appointed spectator course out here in Sydney's West for the running of the $10 million Golden Eagle and then the Golden Gift and 5 Diamonds Ladies Day the week after. It's been a great carnival, some really world-class performances and some big crowds, and Sydney really is out and about again and loving their racing.
Yeah, well, it's good to be back after the Golden Rose, which was a successful day to kick off Carnival here at Rosehill Gardens. Yes, Randwick have had their time, but it's Western Sydney's time to shine now. Restaurants at capacity, the GA will be flowing in shortly, members will be heaving. You can come and have your experience here on track, whichever way you choose. We've got our Eats at the Gardens downstairs for the GA, where there'll be pamper areas for the ladies and the gents. Rudimental will be playing there after the last, so that'll come to life at about 6 p.m. Look, you can have your experience through the multitude of pop-up bars and food outlets that will be servicing on the day through the public and the members areas, and really a convenient experience. The integrated travel, so that means that with your ticket you get free travel to and from the racecourse, and that's our gift to you. So you come to the track and enjoy the races.
We haven't raced since the 24th September, which is Golden Rose Day, so we had a bit of time off. We've done a light renovation, verti drain, and so we've opened it up. It's come back beautifully. Just that sun would be great. You know, anything over 25 degrees we'll take. It's jumping out of its skin right now, so we're very happy where it is, but any type of sun would be perfect for us.
The challenges that Kyle and Sean and all the teams across the racecourses have faced have been immense. Twice the average annual rainfall here in Sydney, and we're only still into the 10th month.
Now, to the most important part of the racetrack for me and the day. We're in the kitchen with Gursu and Michael, and Gursu, an enormous amount of food getting prepared for Golden Eagle Day.
A massive day for us. My first Golden Eagle Day, and with Michael and our team here today, we have a massive crowd, and we have a massive brigade in the kitchen as well. Early day, we started very early, around 5:30, 6. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
I'll be a cracker. What kind of food volumes are we talking?
I'm just punching in the numbers now, Tim. A couple of 100 dozen oysters, and there's about 200 kilos of prawns. They're the biggest ones.
Now, most importantly again, do you have any pies?
We just cooked for you here, and Michael's just about to get it for you. Pies are the biggest seller for us. We are expecting to sell about 2,500 plus pies today, and plus a small amount of VIP function pies as well. So yeah.
Well, I better try one, don't you think, Michael?
Certainly, certainly.
We've got to do the right thing. Try one, make sure everything's okay. I can pop a bit of sauce on this one, can I?
Yes.
This is what you call racing dreams. You know those days you wake up and you say, boy, it's good to be alive. Oh. How beautiful is the day out here at Rosehill Gardens. It's going to be an extraordinary day of racing as well. And got to find a couple of winners, Jules.
Yeah, we better find a couple of winners. So it's time to bring in our mate Daisy at PointsBet. Good morning to you, Daisy.
Daisy.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Tim. I tell you what, I'm feeling that as well. I'm like a kid at Christmas morning here today. 2 of my favourite days of racing on the absolute calendar. Flemington, 3 Group 1 races, 2 Group 2 races, chuck in a quartet of Group 3 races as well, just for good measure. But before we get to that, let's go up there to where you are at the beautiful Rosehill Gardens, where they may not have the group racing, but by crikey, are they racing for some pennies. We start with the Nature Strip Stakes there, and Lost and Running, $2.30, holding 70% of all bets on this race here at PointsBet. Marzu's been found on the second line there at $4.40. Private Eye, you can have $6 in from a $7 quote. Eduardo's been a touch easy with all that money coming for Lost and Running. We own a smart one, $18. And Rocketing Buy's an interesting runner there, $29. The punters shopped as much as 80 to 1 on Wednesday. From there, well, if you're not happy enough with the $3 million race, we may as well just roll across to one that's worth the $10 million. Light Infantry, yes, please. 60% of the hold here at PointsBet on that runner has gone $4.20 into that $3.30 quote you see there. Subsequently, as a result of that, most of the others have been a touch easy. Chain of Lightning, $6. In the Congos, 11 there. I Wish I Win's been pretty sold at the $12 quote, and you can have $12 or better the rest of the field. So just a lazy $13 million prize money in 2 races, some serious horses doing battle, and it should be an absolute ripping day. As I mentioned off the top, a massive day down here at headquarters as well. And the first race we are going to have a look at is the Group 1 Coolmore Stakes. In Secret will be your favourite here at PointsBet, $3.40, which is in from $3.80 at around lunchtime yesterday. So some serious money coming for that runner. Jackano there, $5.50, really well found, as is Coolangatta. Scratch from the Manicato into $7 and Rock Solas. Buenos Noches there, $8. Good night if that gets home. Grand Impact, $10. $15 or better the rest of the field. And then it comes to the big one, the Victoria Derby, Group 1, 2,500 metres, a field of superstars assembled. Berkeley Square will start your favourite here with the PointsBet punters. $3.40 and absolutely rock solid throughout betting. Sharp and Smart, $3.50, been nipping at its heels the entire way through betting. Pericles, $7. Mr Maestro there went from $6, barrier draw, drew the car park, out to $8. Then one punter yesterday had $25,000 at that quote, now into $7. Muramasa, $17. Manzois, $20. Fajita Sand, $26, as is Grand Piero. If you are going to have a bet today, of course, head across to the PointsBet app where you'll find not only those odds, but all the odds across your weekend's markets, now featuring racing.com form analysis, get expert tips, race previews, form factors, now featuring light mode as well. It is going to be an absolute cracking day there, Tim and Julie. Yeah. And as I always love to say, not back to you in the studio, but back to you at beautiful Rosehill Gardens.
Well done, Daisy. Well done. Lovely to see you. Well, what a big couple of weeks it has been for our next guests and the team behind Overpass. We've gone from the Everest. We're now here on Golden Eagle Day. So let's bring in Lauren Wadsworth, Lynn Bruce and Mike Anderson. Good morning to you guys. Happy Golden Eagle Day.
Thank you.
Great to see you all. Now, Lauren, you are with Derby, of course, and we've got a couple of owners either side of you. Yes. Our focus today in the past few weeks has been on Overpass. Bjorn Baker's Overpass had an Everest run. Here today, I think he's actually a bit longer than he should be in the prices.
Yeah, look, he did trim in after the barrier draw. Really happy with barrier 3. But I think he's always been a little bit of an underdog, which is interesting. I'm sure Mike has benefited from some big odds before, but yeah, obviously hoping that he can run out the 1,500, but it's a big ask to go from the Everest into the Golden Eagle.
That's the thing, Mike. First of all, let's just talk about this experience for you as an ownership group, because you've been involved in 2 of the biggest weeks of racing we've had here in Sydney. We look back at the shots from Everest and the day was so remarkable to have been a part of that. What was that like?
Yeah, as a punter and a sports fan, it was incredible. So it's a little bit harder to enjoy the day in the lead up, but once it was electric, it was once in a lifetime.
How'd you get into it?
Oh, I had a few essential workers over during lockdown, and we bought the horse from an email at about 4 a.m.
Essential workers.
Yeah, a few essential workers.
Yeah, it's amazing what you need you need on the kitchen and the bathroom at 4 a.m. with the cold libation.
Yeah, so we ended up a bit cross-eyed at 4 a.m. in the morning and sent an email through to Derby, and that was it. So it wasn't based on any skill in picking horses.
No great science.
No.
Just a couple of quiet ones.
What about you, Lynn? How has your involvement come about? Were you having a few?
No. I've been involved in horses since I was born. My dad was a trainer, my grandmother owned stables. And, I guess for me, I actually have been involved with Derby for over 14 years. But this particular horse I bought with winnings from when I won the Chase a couple of years ago. And I liked the look of him and the everything about him. And yeah, so I said to my husband, I'm going to use my winnings to buy into the horse.
We're going shopping.
Oh, there's nothing like winning, and I've been fortunate enough to own a few horses that have won and won in various places. And even if there's no one at the track, they go into the winning room and just watch it and watch it and watch it and eat a sandwich and have a glass of champagne and watch it and watch it. It is wonderful, Lauren, and you do not have to be a multi to get involved.
Absolutely not. He was a fairly inexpensive purchase. We got him from the Inglis Easter sale for $75,000. And it's such a varied group of owners. It's obviously a big group. as many of our syndicates are, but some were first timers. We've also got people like Lynn that have been involved for many, many years. And they've all had differing amounts of success in racing too. So having a horse like Overpass that has just been able to go right to the very top is so special, to be able to take so many people from different backgrounds right the way through. We've got dairy farmers from NZ, we've got obviously younger professionals, some older people in the group as well that have done it all before. So it's been really special with a horse like him.
And Lynn, how special is it to be involved with a trainer like Björn Baker as well? Because he is just so wonderful.
He doesn't mind a cold libation.
He's just he's so great for the sport.
Bjorn's wonderful. I can remember at Gosford when Overpass won that 2-year-old race at Gosford, and I really got to know Bjorn quite well there. And mate, did we celebrate after that race? He's just a larger than life bloke.
Yeah, he is. And one of the great things of being an owner with Björn, you get updated all the time. Those little voicemail messages. Hello guys, Overpass today. Look, tracking.
He's in great order.
He's in great order.
He's in great order.
What's the whole ownership thing been like? I mean, who would have thought that a couple of essential workers and a cold Milo and milk has ended you up here?
Oh mate, it's been fantastic, and like working with Darby and Björn, like you're able to talk to them and get updates. You can inbox them and get a reply back. So you feel connected to the horse, and it's like part of the family now. So it's been fantastic.
You can also get updates on Instagram, all forms of social media. The Baker Stables are very well known for that. Lauren, I've got to ask you, in terms of today's race, the 1500 metres, how do you think he'll fare? And of course, the barrier draw. Talk us through your experience with that this week.
Well, it was an interesting one. A couple of these barrier draws get automatically drawn ahead of time, and this one was to go up and actually take a ball out of the bucket, and very nerve-wracking turning it around. We wanted something inside. He's obviously a speed horse and loves to really turn a foot from the gate. So we wanted something drawn inside, and I was worried about a big ownership group turning on me if it was barrier 23 or 4. But no, thankfully things went our way there. We just went down to the beach through the week with Overpass. He looked sensational. I've got to say, Björn's team, they couldn't have him turned out any better. And if there's ever a time where he's going to run out a strong 15, it's today. And the track looks enormous. So very excited.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing you can do with a barrier draw. I've got a horse in on Tuesday that's been drawn barrier 20, which is virtually on Anzac Parade.
Are you chasing 10 mil too?
No, not quite. No, but it doesn't matter. It's not about the money. It's about the magic. It's about magic and the wonder. And that's the thing as we wrap this up. That is, I want to get a bit from all of you on how magical the industry is, because I had a big change of careers a few years ago, and it got me a lot closer to this industry. And Jules and I have been doing this show for ages. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the best. Like, I've made friends now through the industry. We've had many great times, obviously, and it gets involvement. Someone who still know very little about horse racing, but I'm learning slowly.
Lauren?
Yeah, look, I think what's really important to me is just seeing the overall picture, whether it's owners, stable hands, riders. There's so much passion that goes into this sport, and to have like-minded people coming together from completely different backgrounds is, definitely a unique industry for that.
Yeah.
And again, coming back to the horse, they're a very unique character. They've all got their quirks. They're very individual, just like some of our owners.
Yeah, they're beautiful animals. And the final word with you, Lynn.
Well, I suppose being around the industry for almost 70 years now, for me it's just the way it's changed. And I adore horses. I love the industry. And seeing the young people like Mike and the rest of our syndicate members coming into it, we've got a great group on Messenger that we talk. Sometimes I get messages at 1 a.m. in the morning. I think he's having his drinks.
How's Mike
all that essential working.
How's Mike going to look at 5 o'clock today?
Do we really want to know?
Time might be round the head as a bandana. Well, lovely to see you. It really is. Enjoy the day. I hope Overpass carries every dream for you today.
All right, stay with us. Coming up on the other side of the break, we'll introduce you to this year's Golden Eagle Race Day Ambassador.
See you then. Oh, we're keeping the racing dreams alive, Jules.
Oh, it is so nice out here today as well. Well, it's time to introduce you to this year's Golden Eagle Race Day Ambassador. She's a familiar face on Channel 7 and she is an all-round legend. She's a Westie girl. Let's take a look at who this year's ambassador is.
I'm so excited, and it's such a privilege to have been asked to be the ambassador for Golden Eagle Day. I'm from Western Sydney. Rosehill Racecourse is the first racecourse I ever went to for years with my mates and my family, and so to be here now in this capacity is it's a bit surreal, but very exciting. I love how much it is a time for Western Sydney to shine and really be on show. The race day just gets bigger and better, and I love the charity component, and so do a lot of the jockeys and the trainers. Chris Waller, we know he's from Western Sydney as well, and they really love being able to give back, as do we all. On Golden Eagle Day, I'll be really busy in the best possible way. So much fun to be had. I'll also be trackside for all of the action, hopefully picking up some good tips and delivering the Golden Eagle trophy. I love animals so much, so any excuse to work with any form of animal, I'm really excited and I can't say no to. But Odin the eagle, just this most spectacular creature. I'd like to say he was mostly gentle with me. Sometimes he wanted to fly off a little bit, and he certainly tested the arm, so I've obviously got to do some weights. But I honestly loved every second and just was in awe of him. I would love to work with Odin the eagle again, although I might suggest you maybe put in a koala race day or a puppy race day so we can cuddle those as well.
Oh, look at that eagle.
I know.
Wonderful Mel McLaughlin too. I should acknowledge Mel, not just look at the eagle.
Yeah, good on you, Mel, nailing it. And of course, she is a Western Suburbs girl.
Excellent ambassador.
Something about the Western Suburbs, you know, being a Guildford boy, you know, half Leb, love a kebab, all sauces. Something rich. You can almost smell some of the great Lebanese restaurants from Granville, from where we are right here at Rosehill Gardens.
What a segue to our next guest.
It's always about food.
It is always about food. I'm with you right now. Nick Burney from Racing New South Wales. It is a pleasure to see you on an incredible day here at Rosehill Gardens.
Hey Julie, Tim, how are you today?
Good, Nick. What do you think of this? It's perfect. And look, we spoke to Ray Thomas a little earlier. How many days have we woken up and said we're racing on a good 4? Could even get better.
It could probably be a good 3 by the end of today with the sun out there. And a couple of weeks ago, Everest Day produced a day like this as well. So we're lucky, and I can't wait for the Golden Eagle.
Just staying on the Everest quickly, we've been looking at Vision this morning because it was an incredible day. That crowd, I know you were out there, we saw you. It was pretty special to behold, and now the fact that we're rolling on here to Rosehill Gardens today, then we're back at Randwick on Tuesday for the big dance. There's just so much to take in this carnival.
Yeah, there's just so much to take in. The amount of people lined up, I got there at about 9 o'clock and they were already out the gates, they were ready to get in there. As soon as the gates opened, there was sprinting for tables. The atmosphere was out of control, and Peking duck at the end was good as well for everyone.
You stuck around for Peking duck,
absolutely.
huh?
Many people went on to a few restaurants and had a bit of Peking duck. I think I ate my body weight in prawns on Everest Day. What did you think of the race? Giga Kick, James Harron, good mate of mine. They were just jumping around. We had the shots of Clayton Douglas bouncing up and down. Us old guys were all doing our ACL just watching him, but it was a fantastic race.
Yeah, and what a story. Like 27, so I'm only a year older than him, and for him to train an Everest winner, that's just simply outstanding. For a 4 medalist personally myself, I still can't find Giga Kick, so it was too good for me. But wow, 20-1, if you found it, good on you.
I don't think you're alone in that one.
I didn't.
Let's take a look at today's racing. First of all, we'll start with the Rosehill Gold Cup. Who are you liking today?
Yeah, I think probably Stockman there. Like back to the 2,000 metres. He's probably got the trial leading into the Melbourne Cup, but look, he'll be rock hard fit and running on strongly there. So he's probably my top pick there.
Yeah, Stockman is. That win the other day was outstanding. What about the Nature Strip?
Look, lost and running. He's probably going to want to atone for the Everest. Although he's getting around that $2.25.30 mark, but wow, he's fantastic last start. He fastest 4-2 splits over there. I think if he gets the perfect map today, he just might be ready to win.
And that's the thing. It was disappointing that he missed out on that Everest spot in the end because he was really looking like a threat in that race, wasn't he?
Yeah, to be honest, the way the race shaped out in the Everest, you can only visualise where he probably would have been in the map. He probably would have been there in the finish. So I feel for John O'Shea and Hugh Bowman, but I think, as I said, they can atone today and really look the winner at some stage.
Well, what about the Golden Eagle? We've got a big 20-horse field. We've mentioned how much we love the charity element because it helps so many people. There's some really good racehorses, some fairly good jockeys as well, just quietly.
I can't go past the French import, light infantry. If you go back and look at his last run, that's serious elite Group 1 form overseas. Now, it was a high-pressure race that day. They really went at it about the 800 to 600. He just kept finding, and the winner to come out of that race is probably one of the best horses in Europe. The third place getter went to win a Group 2 race. I think if he brings that form to here, he's going to be awfully hard to beat. I think he's a fantastic bet.
And Frankie Dettori was out here yesterday walking the track as well, and he was saying on TV it looks a little bit tighter than what it is around the turn.
Yeah, that is probably the only query, especially for light infantry. It's only been down a straight track, so that's the little quirk that it hasn't seen it yet, but I don't want to be negative on that because it still hasn't had its chance to show what it can do around a turn as well.
Where else can you find us some winners at maybe a good price?
I think actually Fangirl in the same race. I want to give a little tick to there in the Golden Eagle, just at a big price. But if we're going to go for a roughie in the last Black Duke, now forget its last run was on a heavy 10 track, so it just didn't handle that. If you go back through its good form, it can really be in the finish here. I think it's 26 to 1. My last check.
I love the get out.
Yeah, the get race 10, so we can blast out or hopefully go right on with it. So I'm looking forward to that in the last.
All right, what we're going to do is bring up the graphic now like we usually do so we can run through all your tips today. So in the Nature Strip Stakes, you've got the Lost and Running. Golden Eagle, you're going with Light Infantry. 4 Pillars, who have you gone with there?
Exelatus, yes, this is another one. From Newcastle, Class 1. It was 4 wide, 60.5 kilos. I noticed there's been a little bit of money for it this morning. So Nashville really goes on back, and I know I keep harping on it, but these horses going on these dry tracks, they can really excel here. So I want to find it. So Exelatus, there's a good one at those odds.
And Mars Mission in race 5?
That's probably the next best horse for mine. Second up last prep, went to Moonee Valley and just bolted in by 4.5 lengths. Zach Lloyd, young apprentice, is riding outstanding, so I think he can just find a nice spot from the soft draw and be hard to beat.
Yeah, I really like Mars Mission today. That's one of my top bets, and I like Surefire Race 2 in Melbourne, of course, another massive day in Melbourne as well.
Are you sticking around for Rudimental this afternoon since you stuck around for a bit of Peking Duck last week?
Yeah, you might see me down there late.
There's another hot tip for you.
Yeah, that's the late mail.
Good on you, Nick. Thanks for coming in, mate.
Thanks, Tim.
Big thank you, as always, to your team, and of course Peter V'landys and the gang at Racing New South Wales, John Massara and the team at Arrowfield, and of course Utah and Daisy at PointsBet. We can't do it without you.
Yeah, an incredible show here today, an incredible day ahead as well. You are watching Racing Dreams, and we are here for the $10 million Golden Eagle. We'll see you next week.
May your Golden Eagle sparkle.